Here's a fascinating story coming out of Saguache. Saguache County, they're going to actually probably see that Barry Morphew case. It's probably going to go to the Saguache County. Now, Saguache County, they had a problem. They had a problem, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, they had arrested this guy. Looks like he was drunk. He had some sort of warrant for his arrest for some traffic infraction. He didn't go to the court for the traffic infraction. He was drinking. They pulled him over. He's in there for a traffic violation. While he's in the jail cell, he says things about suicidal things, about how he's going to do something to himself. He's hitting his head up against the wall, and the jailers didn't do shit. And then lo and behold, the guy hangs himself. The guy hangs himself, and his mother loves her son so much, which is awesome. I love to see the families who actually believe in family who actually believe in all for one and one for all. So even though there's some people that might just say, I mean, my God, the guy did the thing to himself, right? He kind of fucked himself over. He's the one drinking and driving. He's the one that went to jail. He's the one that went ahead and tied the noose around his neck. But that's not what she did. She was like, hey, that's I loved him, and even if he made a mistake when he's in jail, why would something like this had happened? He, said that something had happened. So why didn't anybody listen? And why didn't anybody listen? And why didn't you hear what he was saying? And why didn't you try to take some precautions? Maybe take the what was he, hung with a blanket or some shit? So I'm going to kind of go through this article a little bit, but let's take a look at some pictures, okay? This is before a federal court, of course, because you're not going to get justice in the SLV, not with the county or the state courts. But you did actually have, they had like this right here, the 10th Circuit. The 10th Circuit, well, that's still federal courts. And you still, this Christopher Wolbert, the clerk of the court, which is fascinating because he's a dishonest person. So apparently if you get like enough goddamn fucking lawyers on your side, then maybe you could actually get these sons of bitches to actually listen to what the hell's going on before McHugh, Murphy, and Frederico. I don't know any of those people. But they're going to conclude with this. There was, I guess, one of the guys, Mr. Wilson, he wanted qualified immunity. They denied it to him, and then he went ahead and appealed it, and then they said, no, it's all right because, Officer Wilson was on notice that to the extent he had subjective knowledge of a substantial risk that Mr. Mays would commit suicide, he was obligated to do something to address Mr. Mays' serious medical needs, and that a reasonable jury could conclude that Officer Wilson nonetheless took no steps to protect Mr. Mays. Now, there's an interesting part to this. The guy got fucking fired, so not only was the Wilson, the main jailer that was there, but also you had Sheriff Dan Warwick, and then fired jail deputy Michael Macias, county commissioners, and the sheriff's office. So Michael Macias was fired 2 days after Mays' death, which is interesting. They said that Macias had falsely wrote on a log that he had checked on Mays' condition. The trial began March 31st. Jurors deliberated parts of 2 days before reaching a verdict. So that's amazing. That's incredible. You know how much the mother is going to win from this? Because she loved her son and stood up for her son. $4 million. $4 million. So this was in front of Nina Y. Wang. So that's awesome. That means there are actually some good federal judges in the District of Colorado. In Denver. That means there are some good, district court judges. That's good. That's comforting. That's nice to know. As far as I'm concerned, just any motherfucker. There's so many motherfuckers that don't believe in fairness. They don't believe in right and wrong. And they don't give a shit, if people get justice. They don't care if the preamble of America. They don't care about the rights and freedoms. They just don't give a shit. So Nina Wang actually ran the court, had a jury trial. The jury came back and said, no, the mother deserves $4 million. $4 million. So that's incredible. I mean, talk about, that's going to heaven. That's, talk about a resurrecting of life. That's going to be, it was this guy that had, died. So he seems like a nice, nice chap. Nice young man. I guess that's him there with his mother. They said that they didn't find his body for 8 hours, which, people sleep for 8 hours. So it's like, I could have seen this case going one way or the other. So it's actually incredible that the mother took it all as far as she did. And then it's even more incredible that a fucking jury believed her. A jury believed her. So, fantastic. This would be his name, his, spirit resurrecting. People wanted this guy to live. They wanted this guy to live. And he was just a regular old, Joey Joe, and they fucked him over. They didn't hear his cries for help. They treated him as if he was a goddamn, notorious rapist, murderer, stealing, arsonist, McGee, piece of shit, like some sort of Epsteiner. Jackson Mays, that's his name. His mother was Sarah Lee Berentz. So here's a couple pictures of Sarah Lee Berentz. Just a mother who loved her son. A mother who loved her son. And, that's just, when I think about the fucking Breathitt County mother killed her fucking 8-year-old, that other fucking woman, drowned her kids. That other woman took a rock to the fucking head. That Amish woman just threw her 4-year-old into the lake. When I think about when I hear about all these wicked stories, it's nice to come across a Sarah Lee Berentz who loved her Jackson Mays. So let's read about the article. Let's see here. Hung himself in his cell 2019, so 6 years ago, said that they disregarded it. Court records state, Macias had falsely, a deputy had arrested Mays, 27, so he was only 27 years old, in November 2019 for failing to appear for a traffic offense. Took him to jail, and it said that he was intoxicated. So it said that he was arrested, not that he was driving around, but that he was drunk and that he had failed to appear for a traffic offense. So that makes me think, was he even driving? They arrested him. They could have arrested him. He was intoxicated just on the street, right? He began to bang his head against the wall of the cell. Mays told Wilson and deputies that he was trying to kill himself right now. Then he even said it. Wilson says, you're trying to kill yourself right now. As Wilson walked out of the cell, he reportedly stated something more needed to be done for Mays. Jail staff called mental health workers. Nobody answered. Jail staff did not leave a message according to filings. In their verdict, jurors concluded that the need for more training or different training is so obvious and the inadequacy so likely to result in the violation of constitutional rights by either defendant Macias or defendant Wilson that defendant Warwick can reasonably be said to have been deliberately indifferent to the need for such training. Which that's fascinating too. So they're not getting the sheriffs, for being the person who murders the person, but they're saying, well, you deliberately were indifferent. You were deliberately indifferent, and you didn't train. You didn't train your deputies properly, and you were deliberately indifferent. So it's fascinating how that's sort of the thread, they thread the needle there. They found something. They found something that they could pin on the sheriff. The jury concluded that Macias was not personally deliberately indifferent to Mr. Mays' serious medical needs. Denver attorneys Sean Dormer. So this is great for Sean Dormer and Spencer Bryan. Sean Dormer and Spencer Bryan. These are good-ass lawyers. Several Denver law firms represented the various defendants, so they all fucking lost. The winners of this would be Sean Dormer and Spencer Bryan. Big-time winners, because it doesn't. The case to me doesn't seem like it's obvious that they were going to win. In a statement, they said that the jury's verdict was a powerful statement recognizing Jackson's constitutional right to adequate mental health care while he was in the sheriff's custody. Suicidal thoughts should never be a death sentence, especially when jail guards are standing only 10 seconds away. We hope Jackson's story helps spread the word about this important issue. We know that's what Jackson would have wanted. So good on Nina Wywing. You actually do have a district judge in the federal court system that's good and fair and honest and decent and wants to see justice happen. That's fantastic. Then you got Sheriff Dan Warwick, which he's got a bunch of pictures, so he's been, out and about doing a whole bunch of things. Amy Carlson, known as Mother God, I'm not for sure. So I think, the guy's sheriff and gets to see a bunch of fucking people do a bunch of shit. Why has he got an IMDb fucking page? Is that actually him or someone playing him? Was he in some kind of movie or something? Let's see what that's about. So he seems, okay. He kind of has a nice picture there, right? But he wears glasses, often. And then it seems a little spindly. Right here. But that's, that's some pictures right there of the sheriff of Saguache. Saguache is where they found the bones of Barry Morphew's ex-wife, and also where they found the bones of Edna Quintana. So this older lady that had gone missing, like several years ago. People just act so fucking stupid. They act so fucking. There's 3 fucking dead bodies they found in Costilla County this year. They haven't released the names, and they're never going to find out who fucking killed them. 3 people took these other 3 people's lives. At least 3 individuals killed 3 other fucking people. That means you got fucking murderers running around Costilla County. You think that, that raises some alarm bells? You think they give a fuck? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They'd rather, goddamn harass somebody for, jaywalking or not wearing a seatbelt or some shit, some minor petty nothingness. Meanwhile, these major fucking arsons, drive-by shootings, murdering people's fucking dogs, goddamn murder, just straight up murder in the first degree. Saguache, Costilla County, they're both in the SLV. They border each other. Dan Warwick, why is he known for Love Has Won, the cult of Mother God? So that was 2 years ago, 2023. The cult of Mother God, was that like the weird cult that they were like drinking their piss and stuff? They're like basically just kind of starved themselves to death. $4 million. $4 million is a great way. $4 million is a great way to honor your son's memory. Jackson Mays, was it? R.I.P. to Jackson Mays. $4 million. And the Saguache, get your shit together. You just cost the fucking taxpayers $4 fucking million. Jesus Christ. Does Saguache County, do they even have $4 million? That's a tiny fucking county. They just got hit with a $4 million fucking, does the insurance cover that? $4 fucking million? Holy shit.